Hey there, my name's Herc, and what I'm going to show you today is how to have your business show up in Google with these nice little stars, but I'm going to get them to show up in the actual natural listing. So you can see we've done a local business search for printer repair in Edmonton on Google. And this site right here is a site that I manage. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the necessary things that we need in order for this to start showing some star reviews. So you'll notice on the first page, of Google, none of these businesses have those stars. So it becomes a humongous advantage to those who do have the stars. Because people tend to skip over the Google Maps listings. They feel more like ads. They also skip over ads because they are ads. And a lot of people will come down to the natural results. And then, of course, having the stars in your result is going to result in more people clicking on your business, even if you aren't ranked first in Google. But the nice thing about adding the stars to your listing is that as you add stars, you get more clicks, and one of the ranking factors in Google is a click-through ratio. So the more people that are clicking on your ad, the higher up that your listing in Google is going to go. So it's actually a good way to also increase your position in Google. So let's get started, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to use a tool called Project Supremacy V3 to add stars to your business listing in Google. Okay, so the tool that we're going to use to do this is called Project Supremacy version 3. This is a software that I've been developing over the last 3 years, and it is an amazing piece of software that does a lot of things, but we're going to focus on simply one of the features called Schema. Okay, and Schema is the thing that you have to add to your site in order to get these star reviews in Google. So let's go ahead and get started here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to my Project Supremacy area, and I'm going to log in. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add that site to our tool. So you can see right here, if I click on the websites tab, these are all the websites that I am managing from this single dashboard. So you can see I have 174 websites that I'm actually managing, but I need to add one more. We're going to add my other site, Printer Repair Edmonton, so that we can get some stars showing up. So let's go ahead and add that website. There's a lot of ways to do it, but the way I'm going to do it is very simple. I'm going to add a single website, and I'm going to pop it in here. So we have printerrepairedmonton.com, and then I'm going to give my login path to the WordPress login page. And then this is all, this gets populated as I'm typing things in. I just want to test it to make sure it's right. I'll click on it, it'll open in a new window, and if I arrive at the login page, I know I've done things correctly. So now all I have to do is supply my username and password for that site. So we will pop those in. Of course, I have them blanked out so you can't see them. And then I just click add now, and you can see successfully inserted PSv3. Now what that's going to do is install a plugin on this site for us that will connect to our central dashboard in Project Supremacy V3, so that we can now control that site remotely and do a lot more amazing things with that site. So what I'll do is I'll go and show you that plugin being installed. So I'm going to log into my WordPress site, and we're going to go to our plugins and see our installed plugins. And there you can see Project Supremacy V3 is now an installed plugin. So what that allows us to do is start doing things from here. So let's just type in that site now. So we'll type in printer, and now there you can see Printer Repair Edmonton has finally showed up as one of my sites. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go and manage my website. I want to make sure everything is updated and secured. So the first thing we'll do is we'll synchronize it, just so that everything is the same way on the WordPress site as it is that we see in here. So you can see, we can see the themes that we're using, the plugins, the post pages, everything. And we have a bunch of updates. So what we're going to do is go to our plugins folder. Okay, and we can see the updates that are available. So I'll check this, I will check this, and I will check this. I see there's 3 updates, and I'm going to do an update of those plugins. And while we're waiting on those, you can see successfully updated. Okay, we also have updates for a couple of themes, so we might as well update those as well. So that's the first step, just making sure everything on our website is up to date. And now that it is, we can go in and start building the necessary elements in order to have these stars showing up in Google. Okay, now that we're done that, we're gonna actually go and build what's called the schema for the website. Now you may or you may not have heard of the term schema, but what it is, it's a newer thing that Google's now using to determine what a site or a page's content is about. In the olden days of search engine optimization, they would use things like meta keywords and meta descriptions and titles of the site, but Google's obviously getting better, faster, and more efficient. And now they are leaning on something called schema. And the difficulty with schema is that it's quite hard to code schema because it is actually a JavaScript code that you have to build. And if you don't know anything about coding, that can become quite difficult. But with Project Supremacy v3, we built a schema builder where all you really have to do is fill in forms and it will build schema in the json-ld format for you. So let me show you how this works. If you click over to schema, the first thing that we're going to do is search for the type of schema that we want to add to our site. So typically for most businesses, that's going to be a local business type schema. So we'll just select that and that will load the schema and all the properties of the schema. Now this can look pretty daunting at this point, but don't worry, it gets a lot easier here. So the next thing that we're going to want to do is tell it which website we're building schema for. So we're going to go and we're going to select printerrepairedmonton.com. Make sure that URL is loaded so that the system knows that you're building schema for that particular site. So now we're going to start filling in the certain properties of the schema. And you can see there's a lot of properties in here, but we do not at all have to use all of them. We can only use the ones that we really need. So I've already gone ahead just to make this video go a little bit faster and filled in the fields that we're going to be needing. So we're going to basically add two types of schemas. We're going to add the local business schema, and then we're going to add one called aggregate rating. So you can see I have aggregate rating. And let's start filling in these fields. So the first thing that we're going to fill in is the address of the business. So what I'm going to do is press this little plus button and it'll come up with a field. Now, if you have a full physical address, you would type in that address. For this particular website, it's more a digital property. So I am just going to do Edmonton, Alberta. Okay. The next thing we're going to fill in is a description of our business. So I'm going to scroll down and look for description. And here it is here. I'm going to open that up and a form field opens, and I'm just going to pop in a quick description of what that business is about, a printer repair company. Okay, the next one we're going to fill in is email address. Okay, so we're going to scroll down. There's our email. I'm going to add this, open it, add my email address for the company. Then we're going to add an image for the business. So I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to type in a URL to a logo of my business as an image. So it does have to be a URL that does point to an image. So I'll pop that in there. And then of course there's also logo. Those can actually be the same, but if you want to use a different image for your business, maybe it's a picture of your storefront, you can use that. But a logo is definitely more designed for the actual logo of your business. But for this case, I'm just going to use the same image for my image and my logo. The next thing we're going to give is the name of the business. So we're going to find name. There it is. We're going to open it up and we're going to type in the name of the business that we're working on. Okay, and that's Printer Repair Edmonton. Just make sure there's no extra spaces. The next thing that we're going to do is a price range of the services that we offer. Now, this can be anything. I'm just going to put $100 to $1,000 for a typical printer repair. If you're a different kind of company, you can put in whatever price range you wish. These will show up in Google in the SERPS as well, so be careful what you choose there. You don't want to show too high of a typical range. That might scare customers away. I would suggest going with a little bit of a lower range. The next thing we're going to put in is a telephone number for the business. Okay, so I'm just going to use a random 1-800 number just as an example. And then the last thing finally that we want to put in is the URL of your business. Okay, the actual URL of the site that we're building schema for. So once those things are all filled in, and only those, okay, we're gonna go scroll back up to the top, and now we're gonna name our schema, and we can just call it default, okay, for now. You can name it whatever you want, and we're gonna click Save Schema. And what that's gonna do is build the schema and now add it to our saved schemas in the list of sites. So now we see Printer Repair Edmonton showing up. I can open it, and there's our local business type schema, and here's the actual entry. So if I click on that, nothing will really happen, but it'll load the schema that we worked on. Now, if you want to see in a high, like a more higher level detail, what you've actually built, or you want to hide the things that we didn't fill out, you can actually press this little eyeball here, and there's our final schema entries that we did fill out. Now, if you want to see what schema actually looks like, what the code actually looks like, you can click this blue button, Render Schema, okay, and that will show you what the actual JavaScript code for schema that was built from you just simply filling out simple fields of forms. Now, this creates the proper schema, and I'll show you how to enter that into your website in the next step. So we have our schema now that tells Google what our site is about, but now what we want to do is add the ability to have people rate our businesses or leave us ratings. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add a new type of schema, okay, called an aggregate rating. And you can see I have it here under our local business schema, but I had to add a new schema because aggregate rating is a new schema type. So if we just type in aggregate, okay, so I just have to start typing and it shows up. There it is, aggregate rating. I'm now going to load that type of schema, okay? And once again, I've already pre-filled the fields that we need, okay? And you just have to follow those as well. So we're going to start filling these out. Okay, number one, we have to have our description. So let's open that up, and we're going to type in the same description of our business right here. Okay, then next we're going to add an image for the rating, which is going to be the same thing, a logo to your business or an image of your storefront or whatever. Okay, then we're going to type in the name of the thing that we're rating, which is obviously our business. So we'll type in Printer Repair Edmonton. We also want to supply a URL to the place that we are rating. So there is the URL. And then the final thing that we're going to put in is just, these are things that we actually need to have in there so that as people start leaving reviews for our business, they can show up properly. So those are going to be these, okay? The best rating that someone can leave is going to be a value of 5. We're going to make it a scale of 1 to 5. The worst rating is down here that you could receive would be a 1, okay? And then next we're going to do these 3 things right here, the rating count, the rating value, and the review count. All of these, we're going to start off and set them to 0, okay? Because we don't have any reviews yet. We want them to be built naturally. So I'm just going to set rating count, rating value, and review count to 0. But what these really are is the review count is the total number of written reviews that are actually submitted on your website, okay? And since it's 0 right now, we're going to enter 0, but these will be automatically updated by our software as people start leaving reviews, okay? The rating count is actually the number of stars, the number of times someone enters a star amount as a rating, so a 0 to 5 or a 1 to 5. So it's not a written review, it's just leaving a stars review, either 1 to 5. And then finally the rating value would be, you know, if 10 people left a review and they averaged those 10 reviews out to be a 3.8, the rating value would become a 3.8. But once again, these items will all be automatically updated for you. So we're gonna set them to, each of them to 0 for now, since we're starting at 0. Now, once again, we have to name our schema. Okay, make sure it's going to the right website, Printer Repair Edmonton, and we'll just call it a default aggregate rating, and we will now save that schema, okay, and you can see it's saved. And once again, we can hide the things we're not using just so we can see what we are, and I can also render out that schema. Now the final step is to attach the rating to the business, okay, because aggregate rating is a different type of schema, but we are actually rating the business. So I'm going to go back down to Printer Repair Edmonton, and you can see we now have two schema types. We have a local business schema that talks about what our business is, and then we have an aggregate rating schema that talks about the rating of our business, but we want to attach the two, and it's very simple to do. We're going to go to local business, okay, we're going to reload up our default schema, and now we're going to go to aggregate rating, and we're going to enter the aggregate default rating that we built, okay, And there you can see it's loaded default. We're gonna add that as the thing that is being rated, and we'll click save, and that's gonna change our schema tree a little bit down here, okay? So now when I open up Printer Repair Edmonton, you can see aggregate rating has actually been moved. If I open up local business, there's our default local business schema that we did. And then you can see aggregate rating is now a part of that local business schema. So now it's a schema tree. So if I load back up the local business schema and I render that, you can now see it's a lot longer, and you can see how confusing this code normally would be, but all we did was fill in forms, and you can see right here, aggregate rating, okay, and that goes from there to there, has now been added inside of that schema. So you don't really need to know about how the engine works, you just need to know how to drive the car, and I'm showing you that just to give you a little bit more detail. So now the schema is built and ready to go. The last thing we have to do is now add this schema to our website. So in order to do that, we're gonna go to websites. We're gonna load the actual website that we're working on. Okay, so I'm gonna just type in printer. There's Printer Repair Edmonton. We're gonna choose this little slider tab, manage website. Okay, and then we're gonna go over to the schemas option. Okay, and there is our default schema that we have built. So what we're gonna do is assign it to all the pages on our site that are necessary. So all you have to do to assign it, we have two choices. We have the schema that's gonna go on our home page, and then we have schema that's gonna go on individual pages of our site. And you can build different schemas for different pages, but for this purpose, I'm just gonna make it very, very simple. I'm gonna drag the schema that we built over to our home page, okay, and it's adding that schema to our WordPress blog for us. There you go, it's done. The next thing I'm going to do is go to per page schemas now, okay, and I'm gonna load the pages on our site that we need to add that schema to. So I can see this page here, okay, we're gonna drag it to that page. Now it's adding it to the site for us, done. I'm gonna go to the service page. I'm gonna add that schema to the service page, done. Okay, and then finally I'm gonna go to the sales and supplies page and add the schema there as well. Okay. Now that is done. That's how we're going to add the schema. We're not going to add schema for the contact page or the privacy policy page because those aren't truly important pages on our site, but these three are. So now we've built the schema, we've added the schema to our websites, and I'll show you a little trick that we can do. Okay, if you go to Google, I'll go to Google and I'll show you how I get to the page you're looking at right now. We're going to type in structured data testing tool. Okay. So, and it's gonna always be the first result, and this is Google's structured data testing tool. It's gonna test the schema on your site. So now we're gonna take our website, just the domain name, okay, and we're gonna enter it and we're gonna run a test, and it's gonna read the schema and tell us if we have any errors in our schema. So I see that we have 3 errors, but I already know what that's about, okay, and it's because we set those values to 0, and Google wasn't expecting a value of 0 for our rating count and our review count and stuff like that. So I'm going to open it up, and you can see there's our schemas, okay? And then if I scroll to the bottom, you can see rating count, review count, and we don't have a rating value. The reason we don't have them yet is because nobody has submitted any reviews, so Google's right now seeing it as an error, but not to worry. We're going to instantly add our first review so that all these will normalize and not become an error. So now we're going to go add schema, the ability to collect reviews from the visitors to our site as well as display them. Okay, so here we are on our site again, okay, and what we're gonna do now is we're actually going to open a couple different tabs. We're gonna open up Project Supremacy V3, that's our plugin, and we're gonna go to the Reviews tab, and I'm gonna open that in a new tab because I'm gonna need a couple of windows open to do this, okay? And you can see we currently don't have any reviews yet, but that's okay. And what we're gonna choose is the design and behavior. This is gonna be the box that we're using to collect reviews on our site. So we can change a lot of the elements. This is the live editing view of what we're gonna do. So for instance, the title, you can say something like, please leave a review. You can do whatever you want. And then for the text, we'd love you to review our business. Okay, you can have it say whatever you want. The button title can be submitting review. I'll just show you that. Submit your review. Okay, and on the right side you can see everything changing as we're editing the live version of the collection review box. The thank you message will be the message that they see once they submit a review, and I like to leave something like this. Thank you for your review. It will be sent to a queue for approval before appearing live. Okay, and that's so that, and I'll show you how this works, that when someone submits a review, it comes to us first so that we can review it before we allow it to come to our site. Okay, the no review message is just a simple little message that'll show up on your page if no one's left a review yet. Sorry, we have no reviews so far. Why don't you leave us one? Okay. There we go. Okay, and then CAPTCHAs. If you want to add CAPTCHAs so that you're getting away from like all the spam bots and stuff, you can add CAPTCHAs, but we're not gonna do that. That's a little bit more advanced for now. So I'm gonna save that. Then we're gonna go to our settings, and there's a couple settings that we're gonna turn on to make sure everything's good. The most important one is natural reviews. Okay, we're gonna want to turn that on, and what that means is we only want to display reviews and collect reviews that people are actually submitting on our site, meaning we're not telling Google what the reviews are. The people who are submitting the reviews are actually telling Google what the reviews are. So we're gonna turn on natural reviews. We're gonna turn on preventing multiple reviews as well. Okay, and then form labels, I'm just gonna do it as placeholders. We'll put it in there, kind of nice. Okay, and you can see we can change a lot of things. The only one I'm gonna change here is the star color. We can make that any color. I'll make them yellow, so I'm gonna click OK. And now you can see the yellow star showing up, except it's not very yellow, so we'll go a little darker. Maybe we'll go orange. Okay, there we go. Now we can see those stars nice and orange. Okay, and there's a lot of other design options that you can have here. And then as far as fields, we start with the name and the review, but there's other fields you can add, such as the email address, the website, telephone. It's up to you how much information you want to collect within your review. And then as far as placeholders, that's just changing the text of what's inside. So you can see in this placeholder, it says your name. So for instance, the name placeholder, I can change that and say your first and last name or something like that. Okay, and then I can just save those changes and it will just change the text that is there by default. Okay, and then for the display, now the display is where we display the actual reviews. Okay, so once people start leaving reviews and you approve them, we're now also going to display them on our website so that Google knows we actually are collecting and displaying reviews. Okay, and we have a bunch of different options for that as well. The stars is the only thing I'm going to change. I'm going to make those orange. I'm going to press OK. So there you go. You can see an example of how the displays are going to look. I'm going to click Save Changes. So that's designing the reviews. So now we're going to enter them. So what we're going to do is use shortcodes. So you can see we have two shortcodes here. One is going to be to collect reviews. The other is going to be to display reviews, and we're going to use both. Okay, so we're going to take this shortcode and we're going to make that our review collection. So now I'm going to go to the home page of our site. So I'm going to go to Pages, All Pages. Okay, and this is the front page of our WordPress blog. I'm going to click Edit. And then down at the bottom of the site, okay, I'm going to create a new section, okay, and I'm going to create a nice little header tag here. Would you like to review our company? Okay, or you can just say company reviews or something like that. Let's make it even more simple. Our company reviews, okay? And then what I'll do is I'll actually make this a little bit bigger for design purposes. I'll make sure that my bar is there, and then there's our box. Now I'm also going to center both of those, okay? So there's our review collection box. I'm just going to update this page. Okay, done, updated, and now I'm gonna go show you the page. Okay, so there's our company reviews. You can see that we now have a review collection box. So it's displaying a little bit weird on here just because probably the theme that I'm using, but you could play around with that. But there is now our place to collect reviews designed the way we wanted it. But the next thing we have to add is a place to display our reviews. So now we're going to go back to our widgets, okay, and we're going to grab our display reviews. And we have a few options here for our shortcode. I won't go into too much detail of them. What I'm going to do is grab this review, so PRS reviews. I'm going to go back to the page, okay, and then I'm going to put in the shortcode, okay, and then I am going to add a couple more elements to those reviews. So you can see turning aggregate rating on or off, meaning 1 or 0. It shows the aggregate rating, so I definitely want that to be 1. Random reviews means when you have like a ton of reviews that it'll only show certain ones if you have a limit review turned on, which a limit review means we're only going to show you 2 of the 5 on the page, but you can see them all later on. So I'm going to actually just grab the whole shortcode here. So the way it's going to be is we're going to show our average rating as well as our individual reviews. Our random reviews is going to be turned on so that every time someone visits the page, they're seeing different reviews if we have a lot of them. Our limit review, I'm going to have that set to 0. And then our limit reviews number, I'm not going to bother with that one. So the only ones we're going to use is we'll turn our aggregate rating to 1 and our random reviews to 1. Okay. So let me go back to the page and I'm going to reset this code. 1 second. Let's get that in there correctly. Okay. There we go. And I'll put the closing tag on it. And now I will click update. So now when we go visit the page on our site and I press F5, you'll see the message showing up that no one's left a review yet. Okay, and you can see our average reviews is a 0. And sorry, we have no reviews so far. Why don't you leave us one? Okay, so now what's going to happen is as people are visiting your site, they're going to leave reviews. So let's do our first review. So we're going to submit, oh, I should have made the text black. Let's go make that one more change. So we're going to go to our review design and behavior. We're going to go to our settings, okay, and then our input text. Okay, let's make that a nice blue, and then I'll click OK, and then I'll click Save. Okay, now I'm going to refresh the page. Okay, so your first and last name, now it's nice and blue. Okay, so Herc Magnus, I think you guys did an excellent job fixing my printer. Okay, and then I can review them either from 1 to 5 stars. We'll give it a 5, and then they can submit the review, and once again they'll see this message. Thank you for your review. It will be sent to a queue for approval before appearing live. So now a review has been submitted. Okay, so now if we go back into our website, there's a couple places where we can see reviews coming in. I can actually go to Supremacy v3 reviews inside of your WordPress blog, okay, and you can see that now here's our review, and we can approve it, or we can edit it, or we can delete it. Okay, the other place we can see our reviews is if we go into our central dashboard app and click on dashboard. Okay, we can see reviews right here. I can see Printer Repair Edmonton has now popped up, okay, and I have a new review in. Now, once again, I can edit, approve, or delete that review. So what we're going to do is we're now going to approve that review, okay, and we have our first live review. Now, if I refresh this page, now that we do have a submitted review that was approved, when I refresh this page, now I can see the review finally showing up from Herc Magnus, okay? So that's how we collect and display reviews. That's the entire process. But the best part about this is that now if we go back to that structured data testing tool where we were having errors before and everything was showing 0, we're going to now rerun this tool. Okay, so I'm going to do a new test and I'm going to run it. Okay, and now you'll see we have 0 errors because what has happened is our ratings have now auto-populated for us. Okay, we have a rating count of 1, a review count of 1, and we also have our review actually in there for us. So everything has been updated. Now what's going to happen now that all the proper schema is there is that when Google comes and crawls our site the next time in a few days, it will actually supply this rating to that site. Now there's a couple notes. Google will never do this for home pages. Google will never display stars for home pages. We are supplying the aggregate rating and that sort of thing for the site, but Google will never show stars for a home page. So we want it to go to inner pages. So there's a couple things we can do about that. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go back to this page. Oh, sorry, there, I was already there. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the code that we used, okay, our company reviews, and I'm going to paste it on the other pages. Okay, so if I go to private or service and I edit the service, okay, and if I use a default template, 2-column, no, I'm not even going to do that. I'm going to leave it, and I'll show you why in a second. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to update, or I'm going to paste it there onto this page. I'm going to update it. Okay, so now this URL now has the review box, so let's go look at it. Okay, there's our company review. And now on any page that anyone submits a review, it will show up on every page, okay, because we have it set up to do that. The flexibility of our plugin is that we can control that. We can have our collection box appear only on some pages and our reviews appear on every page. We can have our collection box on every page, but only have our reviews appear on a single page, okay? We have all kinds of flexibility with this. Let's do this. Let's look at Google's service page here. Let's go and do a new test onto the new page, but basically it will be the same thing. I'll run the test. I'll get 0 errors. There we go. There's our local business schema. There's the review. And all I'd have to do now for this process is add the review collection box and the review shortcodes to any page on my website where I wanted them to appear. Alternatively, if you guys have blogs that use the sidebar, we also have what's called a widget for all you WordPress pros out there that know what widgets are. If we go to widgets, you can see, let's actually put a project supremacy review in there. Instead of using the shortcodes, you can see right here, we have 2 widgets for PSv3. One is to collect reviews and the other is to display reviews. So let's grab the collect review box and we're going to put it in there. Okay. And then we have all the same options within the widget that we had with the shortcode. So now if we go back to the site, okay, unfortunately with this site we actually don't have a sidebar, but if we had a sidebar, this box would now appear in the sidebar. So I wanted to show you guys that. Actually we can go to a post possibly and see it. I guess not, but anyways, that's what I wanted to show you guys. That's how you can build schema. That's how easy it can be to add schema to your website. That was only 30 minutes to shoot this video. And of course I was talking the whole way through things, but for you guys, you know, it should take a lot less. If you just follow the steps in the video and you have project supremacy, you can be adding schema to your sites so that when people are searching for things in Google, for instance, I did one for a company called Bit Club Network Review was the keyword that I was targeting in Google. I created a page for that and you can see it right here. It's now showing up in Google with the star ratings, which really helps it stand above every other listing, even this one who has star ratings, but they've only got a rating of 1, whereas we have a rating of 5, and I can show you this one just as an example. We'll go look at the page and look at the review collection and display box, and I put it at the very bottom. So here it is. This is kind of just a different design of it. I'm displaying my reviews, but I'm only displaying 2 of the 8 reviews, so you can see great site and managing director. However, if I refresh the page, I have the random option turned on. So once the page refreshes, you'll still see 2 reviews, but it'll grab 2 different reviews because random just turned on. If I want to see all the reviews, I simply click show more. There's all the reviews that have been submitted, and if anybody else wants to submit a review, all they have to do is click this button, and there's the review content box popping up so that they can actually submit a new review. The pop-up box is another option rather than just having a static box on your page. So there's all kinds of options, all kinds of functionality for you guys to be able to add star reviews into Google for your businesses. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please leave me some comments beneath, any questions, any comments. I love to have the feedback, and hopefully you guys learned something from this video. If you do want to get the tool to do this, guys, just visit v3.projectsupremacy.com. The link is in the description beneath this video as well, and hopefully you guys will soon be having star ratings in Google for your business.